Suck at ending. Shit.
That's right.
I was so close.
We all remembered to go in the right parts and everything.
Yeah, man. That actually wasn't too bad, all things considered.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, wait.
Give some silence so I can remove the background noise in post. Ready? Hello, everyone. My name is Josh. Welcome to the Chain Rand Podcast. With me, once again, is my bearded co-host, Mr. Andrew Josephine Victoria Fusco II.
That is I.
And if you didn't know, we're here to let you know it's going to be an explicit podcast today. So you have 5 seconds to listen to something else. That's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fuck!
Fuck.
Wait. Scotland the Brave in only fucks. But we got to trade off each time.
Ooh, okay. Who's going first? All right.
You start with the E.
Fuck.
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 Fuck. Fuck.
Fuck.
Fuck.
Fuck.
Fuck.
Fuck.
Fuck. Fuck.
Fuck.
Fuck.
Fuck.
Fuck.
Fuck.
Fuck. Fuck.
Fuck.
Fuck.
Fuck.
Fuck.
Fuck.
Fuck.
Fuck. Fuck. That was gonna be a hard one.
Yeah, that was it. I forgot about the run. Listeners can review the show on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, Google Play, wherever you get podcasts. Send us a screenshot of your review, and we will send you one of these that are over there that I can't reach right now. One of the 6 stickers in the U.S. Postal Mail Service.
Yes, we will.
Good enough for sending stickers, just not ballots. You can send us emails and voicemails to be played on air by calling into the line at 702-483-7762 or emailing us at channelrant.com. Like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or if you're Australian, Snapchat. We're almost on 1,000 on one of those. Was that Instagram, I think? Our
yes.
Instagram's been screaming. Check out the Chanarand store at chanarand.com. Some new merch coming soon, which will be fun. Become a patron. This episode is brought to you by our patrons. You know, sometimes I think, Fusco,
The 6 that send us money every month.
Fusco, let me break it down for you.
All right.
Sometimes I, when I'm in my tub, blowing bubbles, not through the top hole, through the bottom hole.
Oh yeah. Oh, I've done that many times.
I think about our patrons and all they've done to make our shitty setup a medium setup.
Any patron in particular stick out to you?
I got a lot of favorites. We have some new ones that I don't remember if I mentioned because I'm so behind on edits. Maybe I might just insert. Okay,
list here.
Josh, when you're editing this episode, because I realized like the last 4 I've edited, I keep saying it's your edit, and I've done all of them.
Yep.
Josh, when you're editing this episode, this is where you insert in the most monotone voice possible, or in a terrible impression of Michael Caine talking to Christopher Walken, a list of every patron. Right here. This is it. This is the mark. Mark.
Yeah. Josh, this is Christopher Walken editing the podcast, and in response to your request, I must say no. Josh, Michael Caine here. I agree with Christopher Walken.
But please become a patron. Patreon.com/Chanarant. Last but not least, invite and share with your friends. Let's go out open.
Hey Josh.
Yes.
You know what really sticks a shot at JMO in my Red Bull Wake Me Up drink?
Me forgetting to hit record.
Oh no.
No, I'm fucking with you. I did. No, Fusco, what?
I don't know if we're going to talk about this today, but when you're about to start a show and there's actual crime going on outside of the studio with drugs and hookers, and
I mean, it's like
it really puts me out of my game. I really want to concentrate on the show, but I just want to know what's going on.
Fusco, it's, this is my humble street on which I live.
Yes.
I'm at
it's not the ghetto, but it's adjacent.
It's ghetto adjacent for sure. I'm at like a 5 out of 10 pucker factor, so you shouldn't worry.
Right now?
Yeah, like 5 out of 10's low, man. That's
I
a
saw
low.
them pull up. You didn't, and I was like,
it's a low
ding,
pucker.
ding, 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 ding.
Dude, I saw them trying to fucking
alarm bells
kick the hood open because they didn't have the keys. So
I saw the girls get out of the car and walk up the street. I was like, oh boy, this This can't be good.
5 out of 10.
I wonder if they're going to your favorite neighbor over here.
Most likely, yes. But it's a 5 out of 10 pucker factor.
Yeah.
I mean, for example, here's how you can tell a 5 out of 10 pucker factor at the Chanaran podcast. I have a holster on, but it is empty. That's just because I don't feel like having to put, and like, I don't, like, have you ever had to try to thread your holster last minute through your belt? It's a fucking pain in the ass.
Yes. Mine's just a clip. It doesn't.
Yeah, but I've had a lot of bad draws with my clip on.
Yeah.
That's not the time you want something to fail.
That's a good point.
Like I had one of those like shitty like nylon ones where it's like the clip with pistol with the like extra mag on the top, you know, like one of those.
I have one of those.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
And I've had a lot of bad draws where like top, front sight catches on the nylon and you can't
pull.
That'll change your pucker factor from a 5 to a 9 real quick.
Real fast, yeah.
Real
absolutely.
fucking quick. But no, so I'm not alarmed.
I'm just wondering at what point does your girlfriend run into the room like the cops are here and they're bent over the car, they're arresting them and blah blah blah. I'm gonna go watch.
I mean,
you too. We might bring a camera.
We'll live stream it. No, that's probably not good.
Just in case the cops decide to beat them down for no good reason. But Metro Police.
I'm not filming that.
Hey man, if they're guarding your neighborhood, let them beat people.
But so on that note, thanks for coming on last week, Ozzy, to fill in for
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Josh. To be fair, I was gone for 2 weeks, and you did an episode with Ozzy. And
I did
do
one,
and we didn't do another one. And
yeah, man, it's been busy fucking couple weeks.
Yeah,
it's weird when
it's
most of your gigging is on weekends.
Yes, it's that time of year. 1, it's wedding season. 2, it's Josh has got shit to do season, like a job.
Well,
and it's concert preparation season, and there's a million things going on.
So we had what? 9/11 weekend was, I was covering gigs for you, so I was busy all fucking weekend. I managed to barely squeak in the show with Ozzy. Barely. And then last weekend we were doing an event all fucking weekend for halfway to St. Patrick's Day. So we had the games booth up. The band came out and played. So that was a good bit of sesh. And then you were actually gigging all fucking day that day too. You played in the morning at the end.
Dude, I've been playing since I got back. It's been like quite a whirlwind.
And then this weekend I just got done working 2 like 20-hour shifts on a food truck for Punk Rock Bowling, which is an event that goes on in the downtown event center, or not downtown event center, the Las Vegas event center here in Vegas, where it's like a bunch of punk rock bands, and I was slinging some fucking sandwiches. So I'm beat to shit, and you're beat to shit.
Yeah. We're doing this on a Sunday. Things have gone wrong.
Yeah, I know.
We're like dragging our asses over here, like. Oh,
but this is all. This is
dedication to the fans.
I mean, I don't want to like this. Could potentially be something we talk about now and get into all the other stuff later, or like make this a topic. But the gig economy, right, is a very strange beast, and I say we could just get right into it.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have any news or anything to talk about, right?
I mean, there's like random shit if we get into the weeds, but
before we do, actually, can you hand me my computer thing, because there is something I want to play.
Oh fuck yeah! But
when we get into these stories, there's going to be audio soundtrack to some of the stories.
You're gonna have to vamp while I find it.
That's fine, I can do that. So I forget what we're going to talk about, but we have so much time to catch up on.
Why don't we start on some of the halfway to St. Patrick's gigs? Because I was there. I was pulling double duty, which was a pain in the ass. Because I already kind of talked about with Ozzy all the 9/11 gigs that I was covering.
Oh, but we're going to revisit that.
Which
now with my eyes on it.
Oh, yes. I know exactly what you want to talk about.
Oh, boy. Oh, yeah. So,
so let's talk about, okay, so start with you return from New York and your gig schedule.
Yeah, so I will hand out a special thank you to Josh for taking over my gigs while I was gone. There was quite a few.
I'll hand out a special thank you to you because I fucking needed the money.
Exactly. I did call you first because I usually can trust you to show up, and 2, I know you need the money.
I show up on time and I don't fuck it up.
Right. Angel's a little more questionable when
even when there's a surprise, play Amazing Grace with the fucking organ.
Oh, by the way, you need a B-flat chanter. Oh, I didn't know that. That's not what they originally told me. But anyway, so yeah, I get back and I go into whirlwind season trying to catch up with stuff. And I had let's see, and I'm going to tell this story too. 1, 2, Like I would say about 7 gigs in about 3 days, and if you want to count hour by hour.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So, and then you were doing, and then we had the band thing halfway to St. Patrick's Day. There was a festival going down in Henderson, New York.
Yep.
New York. Henderson,
Henderson, New York, ladies and gentlemen.
Henderson, Nevada. Right next to Las Vegas. And you were running the tent there for your organization. Kelly MLK was there running bands. They had a whole stage set up.
It's a very small, incestuous group, apparently, that does all of the Celtic shit. Because it's basically me, you, and MLK.
Correct.
That run everything.
Yeah, you know, it's funny when that happens. When I get a call or an email for a gig through my website, and then I'll get the same person contacting me through like 3 other contacts.
Yep.
I'm like, it's just me, man. There's nobody else. You can keep looking, but it's all going to come back to me.
I'm sorry. I'm looking to speak to your manager, Andy Fusco, Las Vegas Bagpiper. Is he available? It's like, that's all the same fucking person. I have that intentionally set for some of the game stuff. Here's a little peek behind the curtain, kids. So, like, most of the inquiries go to the info at, games email address.
Yeah.
And that just forwards to my Josh at Games email address. But the thing I love about it is sometimes if it's a person that I don't want to know who I am so that I don't have to fucking hear about them or get a random Facebook request from them,
right,
I can just respond through info at, and it's this anonymous entity, you know? Like, right. Because I've had a weird, and fuck, we should talk about this too at some point. I've had a bunch of fucking people I played gigs for, like, Facebook me, which is weird. Like, oh, like you just played my brother's funeral. We should be Facebook friends. And I was like, no, what? I don't fucking know you.
Are you really that? Like, I'm friends with everybody. Like, I don't care who they are.
Yeah, but like,
I get the amount of whores I get that contact me via Facebook. Like,
for a guy
from China.
For a guy who says cunt on the radio, I'm a fairly private person, I like to think.
Oh, you very much are. You're like super cagey about anybody coming over to your house in any way, shape, or form.
well, it's one of those things where it's like once you're in like my little circle, right? Then it's like open season. Once you're in my little circle, it's like I'm cooking. You want to come over tonight? Like it's that kind of shit.
Right.
But when it's fucking randos, I'm like, I don't fucking want you to know where I live. Like.
Well, I mean, I get the hooker or whatever she was. Was she a hooker?
The one that peed on my floor?
Yeah.
That was Megan's friend. Yeah.
I think maybe she was. I can't remember for sure now.
I mean, she actually turned out to be pretty cool. So,
yeah.
After the fact,
other than that she pissed on her floor. I thought she was cool.
Other than her peeing on my floor, which was an accident.
Having a woman like that in your life would make your life very interesting. Not you, anybody.
No, but I mean, once I got to know the individual, I was like, all right, like you're like a pretty okay person. Like no worries. She cleared my checks.
Yeah.
But at first I was like, yeah, like why are you texting my fucking address to some person I've never met? Like fuck.
But you were even like I
have family members that don't know where I live.
I got that impression.
My cousin texted me for my address for a fucking wedding invite, and I gave her a PO box number. Man, like nobody knows where I live.
Right. Well, you even got cagey about it when we were going when I was like, hey, we want to come over and edit the music video thing, and you're like, should we do it somewhere else? Like you were like not at first about
that wasn't even it. I was worried about the pups.
Oh, okay. Because you were like, should we do this somewhere else? Like, well, wouldn't it be just easier to go to your house?
Yeah, no, I fucking love those boys. They're always welcome, man.
Right. I was just like, is this that like fear?
No.
Whatever we want to call it, protectiveness, whatever it is.
No, dude, those boys are fucking greenlit, 100%. Yeah,
cool.
The Shatter the Moon boys are cool as fuck. That's why I want to go camping with y'all.
Oh, I can't even imagine that. We'll bring the mushrooms for that trip.
I'm not gonna take any, but I will happily help you guys not die.
Well, no, that's what I mean. You got to run whatever you call it, guard or what's the term?
Usually chaperone.
Chaperone, that's the
one. Well, I'll be the accountability buddy. That's
Zach will certainly do it. I don't think Lou would, but
yeah, I mean, I'm okay with that. Like, people have done that for me before, and you pay that shit forward. That's how it works. And I can't partake of any of that shit right now, so why not? I'll help. I'll help other people.
Sure,
not die.
That's all. Just make sure I don't jump out of a building like I saw in
the jobs I'm
1988.
applying for are just make people not die. That's the only job.
Listen, I just need somebody there to watch me. I've watched one too many after-school specials where the kid gets high and jumps out of a building.
Dare to keep up.
Oh my God! I was like, I will never do drugs. I'm gonna fly off a building. Oh,
Man,
what a waste of my teenage years.
when I was a kid, I got drunk with my dare officer. You don't even worry about that. But
how about that for failed government programs? The fucking war against
God, but
drugs.
we're so fucking off the fucking rails here. Okay, so we were talking about gigs. You got back. You had a whirlwind of gigs.
Yeah. So should I tell the story now of where this gig went wrong?
Absolutely, because I don't even know what story you're going to tell.
Yeah, I haven't told you this yet. So,
How's that shot, bud?
all right.
Did it chase the snakes out of your beehole?
It definitely did. Satan is not with me anymore. So remember, like years ago, when we had one of the very first podcast group fucking
Hangs?
orgies or whatever.
Yeah.
Podcast orgy.
Of course, podcast orgy.
And I remember like one of the boys from Scotland we were talking about like the details of like how we organize gigs. We like get deposits. Sometimes we use contracts, stuff like that. And they were like blown away by that. Like, we just
you're
all
talking
shake
about,
hands.
You're
and
talking
stuff.
about like the fucking big Grace Note rant
over
type
the,
stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
Okay.
about. Over the line, or up to the line guys. I mean, I forget it was Steven or whichever one said it, but one of them was talking about this.
I mean, if you say Steven, you have 2/3 chance of being right. Aren't two of them Steven?
There's Steven Stewart and
I definitely thought there were two Stevens.
the Viking. Fuck, why am I drawing a blank on his name?
Paul, Phil, Vic, John,
I'll think of it later.
Bjorn, Fjord, Sven,
It's probably like Alistair
Jakob.
or something very Scottish. I don't know, or Angus.
Yeah, who fucking knows?
Those
fucking guys.
Scott. Jesus Christ,
yeah.
it's Scott. Sorry, Scott, I forgot your name. So anyway,
He's gonna beat you with his fucking
with his
thesis.
wooden leg. So anyway, this story is about why we do these things, people, and how I fucked up. So I was hired by the city of Henderson. I've been hired by them twice before this event and one more time in October.
Mm-hmm.
But they hired me for 2 nights. Friday night, which I saw you from 6 to 8, and then Saturday from like 5 to 9. Street musician playing on and off while shit's happening.
Like roving bagpiper, which is
Correct.
the dumbest thing, but okay.
Correct. So Kelly Sheehan was
Let's
also
have a roaming bagpiper while we have a live band or canned music on stage. Cool.
correct. But I was on Water Street. I was nowhere near any of that. So, but whatever. They were just trying. I think what happened was they hired me first, and then the event got planned, and then they were like, "All right, let's fit it all in together since it's already happened."
It was definitely, and this is not to like throw anybody from the Southern Nevada Sons and Daughters of Aaron who ran the event under the bus, because they're working with cities, and working with cities is always a fucking bitch and a half. But I mean, I remember contacting them 2 weeks before the event, be like, "Hey, we really want to share and promote this. What the fuck are the details?" Like
Nobody knows anything.
Like, I don't have times. My fucking volunteers don't know when they need to be there. We were helping them with beer. I was like, guys, like I need a press kit. Like,
Yeah,
what do you
yeah,
got?
yeah. Well, and that speaks to what's about to happen. So, so Kelly Sheehan was organizing all the stage stuff. She hired the bands. There was 3 or 4 bands.
We've
that
said
played
her
throughout
full name
Friday or
before,
Saturday.
right? We don't have to bleep.
many times.
Yeah,
Yeah. People have hunted her down. So anyway, Kelly was doing that, and but I had nothing to do with that. She was sort of telling me what was going on because I was part of the musicians, but I wasn't hired by her. I was hired by the city.
Yeah.
So she was handling all them, and then the city was with me. So Saturday comes around. Usually when I play for them, they hand me a check on the way out the door, or somewhere along the way they come and hand me a check. And they didn't. No, not a big deal. I know the lady that works for the city.
You know
So-
they're good for it.
Yeah. I wasn't worried about it. So Monday I contacted them. Hey, I never ran into anybody Saturday night. Nobody handed me a check, so would you mind mailing it to me? That kind of thing. And I think I said something. Oh, by the way, I'm also good to do the October thing. There was a couple things going on.
Or like a Venmo or a PayPal, like any normal human.
Well, it's the city of Henderson. I'm sure they don't Venmo people. I don't know.
You can
Fucking find
invoice. You can invoice through there.
Yeah, they could have, but either way, check's fine. It doesn't matter to me. So she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Somebody was supposed to hand it to you." Okay, perfect. A couple days later, check comes in the mail for the amount for Saturday. I'm like, so I wrote to her again. I was like, "Oh, the Friday check didn't come. Was that coming separate, or just let me know what's going on?" She's like, "You weren't supposed to be there Friday." I'm like,
You definitely
No.
You definitely got booked.
I said no, and then I went back to my email. I went in, took a screenshot, circled where she said, "We want you for the 18th as well." It says the 17th, and she's like, "Oh, are you available the 18th as well? We want to add you on." I'm like, "Sure." Never heard anything else about it. So I showed up Friday.
Oh, buddy.
Right? So she's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. That's terrible. There was a lot of hands in the pie. It got confusing, and I'm sorry." And that's it. And granted, this was very late on Friday.
Yep.
That she messaged. Or no. Sorry, this was. When the hell was this? Yeah, this was this following Friday, like a week later. It was so I'm figuring she's on her way out the door. I'm not going to panic until Monday, right? So I'm like,
Yeah, because Monday is when the inbox is going to get cleared.
right. So I'm thinking, like, no offer of like, well, let me look into this on Monday and see what we can do. Like nothing. Like sorry that happened.
You think you're going to get straight fucking stiffed?
I think so.
No fucking
I don't
way.
know. I don't know.
No way.
Especially since I'm booked with them for October for something else they're doing.
You should just be like, hey,
I'm trying not to panic, but I did not sign a contract. I did not ask for a deposit. I did not do any of that because I knew them and they've hired me before.
This is why we've said 1,000 times on this show, even if you know people, you do this.
And I just was like, it'll be fine, right? And never communicated to me that, we just launched it for the 18th. That was never told to me.
Dude, the gig economy is fucking weird.
It's super weird, and it's way more. Obviously, I've been doing it for a long time, so I'm relatively used to it. There's a lot of people out there getting into this stuff, and not just bagpipe, like in
any kind of side hustle.
And it's like, guys, like, prepare yourself because people make mistakes. It's not even like they're out to fuck you.
Sometimes people are just fucking busy.
They're just bad at communicating.
Or
they didn't check. They didn't double check. People make mistakes.
Especially if you're working with fucking government officials who get paid a lot of money to not be good at their job. Like
well,
that's the fucking.
And I'm not saying this person that's the case. It hasn't been resolved yet, but it's one of those things where Friday night I'm like, you son of a bitch. Like, and it's not, it wouldn't have been so bad. It's a couple $100 or whatever. But
that's a lot, though, man. Like,
it's a lot to me.
Yeah, that's
right?
one of those things. Like people forget about like
gigging
musicians, especially, don't get paid shit.
People very often just blow that off, right? Like, it's just music, blah blah blah.
Yeah, it's right? I just cut you out of $100. I'm like, bitch, that's like 4 hours of my fucking time.
Yeah, like how much time were you at the office for that amount, right? Or whatever it is, whatever you do, right? So.
It's like 4 hours of my time and 15 years of practice.
Right. Well, there's that too. But then I was thinking, like, not only that, but it was a whirlwind weekend. I played 3 times that day. And dude, the 4 hours on Saturday.
You were beat to dicks.
Plus the gig. I was like,
I saw you. And you had just gotten back from a fucking East Coast trip.
Correct. Exactly correct.
You were hanging like a bag of assholes.
I was like, what the hell? So I got that information. I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me right now. Like, I would have rather had my Friday night off. Like, that would have been great.
Yeah. Especially if I'm not going to get paid anyway.
Yeah, like, what? I'm going to go sweat my ass off outside?
Dude, I have that same shit. Like, with bagpiping gigs, I'm always, like, pucker factor of 8 because 9 times out of 10, if I'm doing a solo gig, it's something you can't do. So I haven't fucking talked to the person. Like, right. You'll send me a calendar invite. You'll be like, hey, this is your contact. They may call you. They may not. This is how much they're supposed to pay you. Here's where you're supposed to be. Here's what you're playing. And, like, I usually try to, if I have contact info, make a point to, like, reach out and be like, hey, just confirming. Like,
I always do that. Like,
especially, like, I have one got canceled on me, that past weekend where I was doing the chapel thing. And I was like, oh, nobody talked to you? And I was like, no, man. Like, come on. Fuck.
They didn't call me either.
I had my kilt on. I was like about to go out the door, and I was like, I should fucking call them.
Yeah, they didn't call me either, and they're usually very good.
Because I remembered. I was like, Fusco said that they usually call like a day in advance to confirm.
They always do.
And I was like, I haven't heard from them. I should call them.
Yeah, that is very odd that went wrong. Because I even fucked one up on them, and so where I didn't show, I was in New York back in May, and they're like, hey. They contacted me but didn't confirm it, so I put it on my calendar, but I didn't put confirmed, right?
Yeah.
So I left. I'm like, no, they never confirmed it. It probably never happened. So the day of, they're like calling me, hey, are you gonna be here soon?
Yeah, where are you?
I'm like, I'm in fucking New York. Like, what are you talking about?
You never fucking confirmed.
So I have a whole process, and so I know my process. I'm like, it's not on my calendar as confirmed. So like, are you what? So I felt really bad about that. I don't know whose mistake it was. It could have been mine. I'll take responsibility.
I doubt it. I mean,
but I have a process, and
it very rarely is. Like, and don't get me wrong. Like, I've had, I've heard tons of horror stories, and like, I've had fucking gigs that the only reason I got was like, hey, I called my piper and they walked out.
Right. Sometimes that happens way more than you'd expect.
And it's just like, okay, like I can be there, no worries. But for me, it goes back to that whole thing of like, I had a couple of the 9/11 gigs that I covered, like the one with the church, and they were so nice. They were very polite. They were just like bugging the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, like I told you I've talked to 8 of you.
Yeah, they've talked to me several times as well. I'm like, he's gonna be there. It's
like,
okay.
I don't try. I told him, I was like, guys, I don't do a lot well. I hit my fucking mark. Like,
Yeah, they don't know that. I mean, to be fair, they don't know that, right? But
they
worked with me forever, so they trust me.
They
But
were so stoked. Like, oh well, now we're so excited because now we have 2 bagpipers we can rely on. And then like they were trying to like hire me for an AV job and shit.
oh yeah.
I'm sitting there. I'm like, yeah, like no, dude, trust me. I'm a fucking drunk, degenerate piece of shit. I always hit my mark.
That's the one thing I can stand on is that I will be there, motherfucker.
I will be there, and it will sound good.
Yeah, exactly. It'll sound pretty good. It'll sound better than a service band either way. But
dude, the funniest fucking thing, I think I talked about this a little bit, I think on the show last week with Ozzy, and I talked to you about it, where like they kept calling me like, well, like can you come down like 2 days before to rehearse the music with the organist and like do this because it's a different setting of Amazing Grace and it was the concert chanter and like different tuning for me and all that kind of stuff. And I was just like, bro, like how good's your organist? And they're like, really good. And I was like, we're gonna need like an hour.
Yeah, I could do it once, like a half hour before.
We
Just
did.
let me show up a half hour early.
I showed up like an hour and a half early because the choir, like the time we had to rehearse was before the choir had to rehearse.
Right. Yeah.
And we ran it twice.
Yeah, it's super easy. She's super good.
She's fucking awesome. Yeah, like we ran it twice, and she was like, "Okay, cool." I mean, there was a funny bit because the music that we were both going off of, there's a 4th line. It's the pipe
She
line.
didn't turn the page or something?
Well, she didn't realize. So she's like, "Yeah, like you're supposed to come back in here," and I was like, "No, that top line is you. That's not me. My line's the 4th little bitty line at the top.
Right.
That's the the double flats." And she was like, "Oh shit!" And I was like, "Yeah, like." I watched the video that Fusco sent me. Like, no, we're good. Like, I think we ran it 3 times in total, and then just fucking nailed it twice.
Yeah, it's super simple.
Yeah.
Once you know what you're doing.
The only weird part is there's one part where it changes from 3/4 to 4/4. Everything else is super normal.
Right. Yeah. Here's the advantage of learning music theory, people. I'm gonna get on my soapbox. And talk
If you
down.
have to play with another fucking
I'm
instrumentalist,
gonna patronize you right now.
Like if you have to play with another musician, you should fucking know some music.
You should
theory.
know the language to speak to them. You don't have to know
Especially-
fucking sharps and flats and keys and shit.
especially if they're playing fucking
But timing and
piano
rhythm?
or organ, man.
Guess what? Timing and rhythm comes in handy all the fucking time. Oh, how long do I hold this rest for? Like, you need to know rests and shit when you play with other musicians, or how to read their music or whatever. Like the sheet I sent you, it's written as a bagpipe would write it, but it's also written sort of like an orchestra. It's written over the top
written
of like
over
an orchestra.
top of the organ and orchestra part. Yeah.
So it's super, super important to like know how to interpret that stuff.
Well,
like,
and
never be just a piper. That's what I want to say. Be a goddamn musician, people.
I like that. Never be just a piper. Be a goddamn musician.
You get that like I'm just a piper. Like no.
That's not acceptable.
No, it's
right? Like, it's not acceptable in these scenarios. And you're gonna have to work with other musicians eventually, unless you just want to be a piece of shit for the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. So just fucking learn it. It's not rocket science. I'm not a smart man.
You could probably go to Skillshare or some shit and learn.
You
music
could probably
theory.
do
I
it
don't
on
know.
fucking YouTube. There's probably. I'll tell you
there's
what.
lots of-
If I can't Google a music theory course on fucking YouTube and find it by the time this episode comes out in 6 months,
I could do it now while you're talking.
we'll literally just record. I'll put my cell phone up and we'll record Fusco talking about music theory.
You can go to the dojo. There's a whole music theory goddamn course.
Yeah, and you can find out all about it if you go to channeran.com.
/
Suck less.
Nailed it.
Yo, we're back.
Yo.
The boys are back, baby.
Back, motherfuckers. Oh yeah. So anyway, so that was my stress for the week.
So anyway, I'm ready to open the show. Are you?
Yeah, let's get started.
Well, I want to talk about because we're talking about gigging shit, right?
Yeah.
One of the things I want to like really, and this has been something I've also been illuminated to through my side gig, my side hustle, working on the fucking food truck, especially this past weekend, where it's like, yeah, like people don't realize that one, if you're like a business owner that hires a lot of like contractors, or if you're like a government, you hire a lot of contractors, like they're fucking really relying on you to do your homework and know your shit. Like I need
As
to
a
know,
contractor.
I need to know when I'm supposed to be there. I need to know what I'm supposed to bring, what I'm supposed to do, blah, 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 blah. I would like to know how much I'm being paid. I'd like to know how much I'm working, like that kind of shit. And people don't think about it. Gig economy is fucking rough. Like this body right now,
I could tell a story about that.
this
but
body's built by gigs, buddy.
I have another story about that, but I'm not prepared to tell that one on the air yet.
Oh, yeah.
But yes, you're right. My advice is ask beforehand if you're a gig economist or whatever the fuck, if you're a gig worker, like make sure you know what you're getting into beforehand and that you agree to it.
And fucking, for Christ's sake,
Now-
save screenshots of every text and
save
fucking
everything.
emails. Like, just file that shit away, man.
Yeah. So and not only
If
because
nothing else for yourself, so that you know what you've been told. Because if you're doing multiple things in 1 week,
correct.
I covered you for 1 week on bagpipes, and I was flummoxed trying to figure out
where and when to be, and
which person was fucking calling me, what gig they were calling me for, why. Like, I had one person text me out of the blue that I don't even think went through you. I think they just contacted me directly for a funeral, and I was like, who the fuck? I was like, is this one of the ones you
thought
sent?
it might have been tied into that?
Yeah, I was like, is this one of the ones you sent me? Because I don't see a calendar invite. I got no fucking details.
Right.
Like,
And then you asked me, I'm like, no, that's
yeah,
totally independent, not me.
I have no fucking idea who that person is.
Because the way I do it is if I put you, and I do this with Angel, because Angel does some things for me every now and again, I put the calendar invite, I put myself on it so I know that you know what's going on, and I see that you've responded. I put all the details in. This is where to be, this is how much you're getting paid, or this is what to expect to check from them, if they're going to pay you on a day or not. It's coming through me, I'll pay, whatever it is.
Well,
it's
it's
rarely
like,
through me, but
it's like 3 things usually. It's like, okay, I
where,
need to-
when,
when,
to be
who,
there, and who to contact.
who and what. Like, okay, because then if you know the who and you have their contact info, I always like to check in first, because they'll be like, shit like I got where it's like, oh, well, we thought you were going to play the Star Spangled Banner on bagpipes. I was like, no, I'm not.
No, I've said that. Did they actually ask that?
They did.
No, I told them 17,000 times that we're not doing that.
I'm not doing it.
I told him he could play God Bless America or America the Beautiful, but you have to tell him ahead of time so he can prepare it. And I said it
They
700
wanted,
times.
well, so they wanted, so I did, so America the Beautiful. So I did that one.
Okay.
And then they asked for God Bless America on the
the
march.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, yeah, we're going to march out to God Bless America. I was like, no, you fucking not.
Dude, just nod and smile and play whatever you want.
I told them, I was like, no, I told them, I was like, that doesn't translate to pipes. And they're like, oh, well, Fusco said, and I fucking had the email on my phone ready to rock. I was like, here's where it says, and this is not an email that you sent me.
Yeah, this
was
them.
the one you forwarded to me from the person I was
Correct.
talking to. I was like, this is the fucking list.
Right.
This is what I'm playing.
Yes, like you can't change it. Like, I get the
Have
idea
that
of
shit
it
handy, kids. My trick, pro tip, screenshot that shit
and have it really
day
handy.
of.
Yeah, don't
that
go,
way you
don't
don't have to go.
digging for
You
it.
don't have to go searching through emails. You have that shit screenshotted. You're ready to rock.
Right, don't go digging for it. Yeah, for sure.
Like
really,
when it's and then I did like an Amazing Grace that wasn't on the fucking menu. But and that kind of shit's fine. But I'm like, dude, fucking ask for pipe tunes.
well, yeah, that's the other thing. Very often they ask for like some off the wall shit at the last minute. Like but again, I've learned this over the years where like when I'm negotiating the original contract, quote unquote, if you will, and it's not rarely ever a contract, but I tell them this is what is possible and what the limitations of those possibilities are, because I've dealt with that so many times.
Well, it's not even to me. It's not even about the limitations of the instrument, which there are.
There are, yeah.
There are actual just notational limitations of the instrument. But the thing for me is like, bro, why would you not ask the person who's done 1,000 things of like, what would you play?
Trust the professional, quote unquote, if you will. Yeah.
Right. Like you never your plumber doesn't come over, climb under your sink for $150 an hour, and you're like, I think that needs to be like a 2 3/4 inch pipe. I don't think that's the right one. Like,
I learned this lesson a long time ago in the finance industry because I was a finance professional. And one of the things that drives you nuts to a certain extent, but also like when I was looking for a financial professional myself, because I want to run my own stuff, it's hard when your emotions are involved. And I'm aware of that fact, is like when you're out looking for a financial advisor or professional or whatever it is, or accountant, whatever the fuck, hire them, interview them, and then trust them. Just let them fucking run. I mean, keep an eye on it so they don't steal all your money, but let them do their fucking job, right? That's what you hired them for. Your job is to like vet them, if you will. Then once you know that that's what you want, let them do their thing. Like, don't fucking throw a million ideas at them. Like, oh, can you, I don't know, play fucking Mother by Danzig for us. I don't know. Like,
that is a weird cut because I have a story about that too. But yeah, no, I mean, I trust my financial advisor with my life, and he, over the past 10 years, has turned $7.50 of my savings into $8.25.
Who's that?
No, Bobby.
Oh. Oh yeah. So that's the whole thing. But you know, any industry, it's the same goddamn thing.
But so, yeah,
Like,
I mean,
you could say the same about teachers. I've had this conversation. Cobra's in the chat, and so I've had this conversation with him. I remember this very clearly. It's like, all right, you hire a pipe teacher, drum teacher, whatever it is. Like, it's your responsibility to go out and like, all right, talk to Cobra, talk to Stephen McWhorter, whoever the fuck, and interview them if you will. Like, who do I want as an instructor? Once you've chosen them, then you just fucking turn the fucking hand the wheel over to them.
well,
and do what they tell you to fucking do.
It's got to only be Cobra because Steve.
Well, of course,
Steve
but-
McWhorter, famous enemy of the show.
Well, of course, but I'm just saying, like once you've chosen that guy, don't fucking question everything they do and like, well, why do I do it? It just drives me fucking bananas.
But that's
as a teacher.
also that also fucking ties into like band setting, right? Because like in a band setting, your fucking pipe
Band, same
major,
thing.
your pipe major, your pipe sergeant, your drum sergeant, like they're instructors in that setting. It's like, why the fuck would you walk in and be like, well, it's like, bitch, just like that fucking kid we talked about forever ago. Like, bitch, if you fucking think that you know better than me, what are you doing here?
Right, you would be in a better band.
You'd be in a better band,
but you're not.
or
Somebody would be recruiting you. Very often, people think like, "Oh, well, I just haven't gotten my shot yet." Like,
no, you've
man.
had it.
No, man, people wouldn't know about you if you were anything worthwhile knowing about.
Yeah, like
know?
trust me. If you don't suck, people know.
Yeah, like word gets around. Like, maybe it's the incredible exception that the incredibly talented, really, really good football player doesn't get noticed in high school or whatever it is,
Or
whatever it is.
they make the mistake of kneeling during the national anthem.
Well, I mean, that by the time they got there, it's already done. It doesn't matter. But it doesn't. Any skill, like people are gonna hear about you. Like there's no doubt about it. Like people talk. Humanity is very dramatic and like to converse and BS and like, oh, did you hear that kid that played the da? He's really coming through the solos. Like, oh, I want to get him in my band. But
Yeah,
like
fucking
this
A.
shit happens all the time.
Motherfucker, we got like we literally got flown across the world. Granted, I don't think it's because we were
I don't
good
think
at
it's because
bagpipes.
we're good now. It's just because we could bring a name to them.
I think it was because we make good content.
Right? Yeah, they're like, oh, those guys.
Which, if you're out there and you want good content, we're okay at bagpipes.
yeah, we could fit into any grade 3 band
Yeah,
for sure,
well,
and then bring notoriety to your band.
we could fold in.
Hatred or positivity. I don't know which, but
We're not going to
That's on
be
you.
we're not going to be ringers. We're not going to be your worst players. We'll just like we did when we were in Northern
we'll
Ireland.
be like lower percentile.
we kind of fuck our way to the middle.
That's what I did. You had a girl. Wait, did you have a girlfriend at that time?
I
You
did.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I
you
did. Yeah.
Yeah.
But also
Poor you,
But I also had standards, so that was a problem.
dude. You can't have standards when you're out of the country. Nothing matters.
Man, I was
Different
in,
time zone, different whatever. It doesn't matter.
I was in Tom's bar just thinking like, fuck, I don't think there's enough alcohol in this fucking continent for some of these chicks.
Dude, see, I saw it very differently. Granted, yes, you're right. There's very average chicks in Ireland or whatever, but the fucking accent, done, son.
The accent does add.
Done, son.
I feel like if you're on like a 10 scale, the accent adds
I'd say
at
plus
least 2 to 3 points.
Yeah, I'd say +2, maybe 3.
If it's an Australian accent, you might be adding 4.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
4.
that's a far sexier accent.
That's a good question. Let's go through that.
Yeah,
So,
what are the sexiest accents?
okay, well, let's start at the beginning. Northern Irish versus
Who are people
Southern.
who are people we know, and we'll compare plus minus on accents. Let's get ourselves in real trouble here.
Okay, so let's start from the beginning though. Northern Irish versus down south.
Not a huge discernible difference. I would say Northern Irish +2, down south +1.
Interesting. I always would have until I went there. I would have said the opposite, but
Now that you've been there,
and I don't know what it is, but Scottish accent.
ooh, +3.
That's huge.
Easy.
Scottish
Yeah,
women have an
that's
incredible
a plus,
accent.
That's a +3. That's a fucking phenomenal accent.
They're getting close to Australia, but all right. So let's flip the world here.
Okay.
Oh wait, well you wanted to talk people. Okay,
Well, I mean,
let's go back.
just for me to like hear it in my head.
Okay.
We might have to just use first names of people that have. I mean, most of the people
This could go
people
wrong.
we know that have accents have already been outed.
This could go very wrong.
They've already been outed on the show.
Well, we're going to talk about our friends, obviously.
Yeah.
All right, so let's flip the world.
Yeah, we can rank our friends' sexiest accents.
Let's
like
come back to
Yeah,
that. Let's come back to that. So let's go South America here. Let's talk Mexico versus Brazil.
Okay, so here's what I would say. For me,
I'm not talking Mexico City. I'm not talking.
No,
like
you're talking about like South.
chicken clucker kind of
No.
Mexico accent.
I would say probably a +1. But I honestly only think that's because I've been exposed to so many growing up in the southwestern United States.
Yeah,
so
we're a little used
that's
to
not
it
like an exotic accent to me.
I get.
I mean, still sexy, still a cool accent.
It has its moments.
Yeah, still a sexy accent, but
Until they brandishing a knife and threatening your life because you looked at another woman half a second.
that's okay. You know what the trick I find is there?
What?
Be a 200-pound man. That
Well,
helps.
yeah. It's just smack the knife out of their hand. Dude, I've been on the receiving end of the Mexican anger in my life. Holy shit! Never a knife. I'm exaggerating there, but holy moly!
Yeah.
Th-
So
those
I
women.
think
Oh,
I'm gonna clock that as a +1, but only because I think that I'm desensitized to it.
okay, fair enough. Well, you went to Argentina. I've dated Brazilian women and
The
other South American women.
Castilian Spanish, I did nothing for me. That's a neutral game.
You're
for
talking
me.
like far South America. Is
that would
what
have
you mean
been
by
like Buenos Aires and like Mendoza. Yeah, that's a zero sum. I mean, pretty women, but
I don't know, man. Like far South America. Like I dated a Uruguayan girl. You remember her? Did you ever meet her?
I did.
That's a hot accent. Like Argentina.
Yeah.
Now Brazil. I've dated a couple Brazilian women in my life. They're very similar. I would say their accent comes across to me very similar
They're
to
very
Mexican.
close together too.
But their accent is so. I don't know. It stands out my ears as similar to Mexican. It's not like a thing necessarily.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Flip the script. Get into like Scotland. Like, what's a Scotland for you?
Well, there's so many different because just like in England, because if we get to
Oh,
England,
actually, let's do. Okay, so what's like a Isla Scotland, not Isla the person, Isla the region,
oh, I thought you meant either person. Okay,
versus like a Glaswegian.
well, so there's drastically different. I know more men than women. And this is going to sound weird, I guess, but because I've talked to more men.
Oh, I thought
various Scottish.
I thought it
accents.
was from your career as a highly successful homosexual prostitute.
No. But like obviously, we're
Episode
aware,
title done.
We're aware of drastic differences in Scottish accent. Let's take like Cam Drummond, who's got a very soft kind of accent because he's from Edinburgh, versus somebody who's from Glasgow. You can't understand a goddamn word they say,
Yep.
right? So, and they're not that far apart. Like that's not
No, but one sounds like they have a mouthful of fucking marbles.
correct. Yes. So then you take someone like, let's take literally Isla, who's got an Orkney accent. It's very kind of soft to me. Like she's easily understandable in my opinion. Versus somebody you take like
And that's amazing because I know you're not looking at her mouth the entire
no,
time.
almost never. But like one time I was chatting with her with a friend of hers online, and her friend was from I think the southern like Glasgow region or somewhere in that. And I'm like, not a fucking clue. But
No
they're
fucking-
both hot in different ways. Very, very. The fact that I can't understand this broad is very hot.
He likes it because he doesn't know when they're saying no.
Right. Oh, this just got really rapey all of a sudden. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Okay, what about we get down? Okay, so now go down towards like New Zealand Aussie. What are you thinking?
Oh, goddamn. Like, New Zealand doesn't turn me on. It doesn't turn me off. It just is what it is. Like, I just think of fucking dwarves and Middle Earth and
It's
shit.
a +0. It's
like a 0,
Yeah, it's a
yeah.
neutral. Well, it's a +0, right? Because we're talking about handicaps.
Yeah, I suppose.
So
because
it's
there's
neutral.
there's negative accents like
Oh,
American South, Canadian.
You don't like? Oh yeah, the Canadian never bothered me. It never added anything, but never
It
bothered me.
annoys the shit out of me. Does not turn me on at all.
There you go, Canadians.
Now French Canadians, that's different. But
French accent -8.
France, yes,
France French -8.
and southern United States -12. I don't know.
Is that why you won't fuck me?
No, you got that West Coast redneck fucking thing. That's a whole different
Do I
thing.
have too much of a drawl for you?
Oh man, but wait. So Australian is got to be one of the top of the
It's like
tops.
+8, dude.
It's like it's up there.
Honey Boo Boo is a disgusting ginger monster, and his voice alone makes me want to fuck him.
Yeah, that's a tough one, man. That's a tough one. That's like New Zealand's like 0. Australia's like makes up the difference +8. Then you get into the Far East.
And then you get to Fusco's real bread and butter, which is like
Asian chicks.
anyone like missing a couple teeth with a lisp, you know, like
Oh my god, a lisp. don't even get me going about that.
Will you fuck me?
I just hear that tongue
There's
sound
a couple,
on her teeth, and it's
there's
like,
a couple girls that were parking out here earlier that I think might be right up your alley.
oh yeah, the hookers that were outside.
Not only up your alley, but also literally up an alley.
They're probably up an alley right next door, I imagine, or somebody's up their alley. I don't know, but holy shit! But yeah,
Okay,
man.
so have we officially ranked the Australian accent as the sexiest accent?
let's pick one. I'm gonna say Australia's number one.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't talk about England though. England's got some fucking sexy ass accents.
Yeah, it's a +0 to.
Really?
Well, actually, that's not
Interesting.
true. There's some
Interesting.
every now and then, like a posh.
Get a posh London accent.
A posh
Hell
London
yeah.
accent, or even like a really fucking what's the word I'm looking for? Graham.
Like a Liverpool, like a that's
Pudlian.
almost
Pudlian accent.
really.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've heard a woman speak like that, so I can't. I've never had my penis react to a woman speaking in Liverpoolian, so I can't really speak to that. But interesting. Okay, I could see that being closer to Scotland, they start to get a little more of
Yeah.
that, whatever that is, that they have up there.
Plus, probably always down for butt stuff.
That's what I've been told. I mean,
Yeah.
nobody. I haven't experienced it, but
If you,
well, I mean Graham, but
Guys.
he doesn't count.
guys, if you're just tuning in to the Chanaran podcast and you've never done butt stuff above Todd's bar, you may be wearing yellow flashes.
Earn your yellow flashes today by doing butt stuff.
Earn your brown stripe.
We'll do yellow flashes with 1 brown stripe or 2 brown stripes, like a fucking karate belt.
If you've never rabbit-tailed a bass drummer above Todd's bar.
What are we talking about right now? Oh my god!
So bagpipes?
All right, so number
How
one.
far did we make it? We
Number
made it,
one, Australia.
We almost made it all the way to.
we're talking about
halfway to say
We're
bagpipes.
talking about something related to bagpipes. It has to do with accents. So hottest chicks.
I think
Australia.
number one accent is probably Australian.
Number 2.
Oof.
I'm gonna go
Scotland
Scotland / Northern Ireland, but it's very similar.
I was gonna go Scots, like
I'm gonna go Scotland,
I was
I
gonna go like Northern Scots, and then like Northern Ireland would be 3 for me.
This is not far off of what I'm thinking. French.
French
Mainland
is,
Europe?
French is 74.
Although we forgot about Eastern Europe. I love Russian,
Russian
accents on
accent.
women.
Yeah, that's a good
Holy
accent.
fuck.
I still think it would land. It would land like a 5. Would do for 4. A 4 for me would be like South America.
Dude, I think I would take Russian accent over an Australian. I think it's
You really
my
think
favorite,
so?
Now that I think
Oh
about it.
man.
Oh my god! Like I just think of a Russian woman insulting me in Russian and beating me. Just oh man, it's such a turn on.
Wow. Now we know what you're spending your extra gig money on OnlyFans.
Dude, this is like when Aussie Broad like years ago.
Svetlana's fucking stepping on your nuts.
Dude, I would do that in a second. Years ago, Aussie Broad invited me to. She was going to go to the tattoo in Moscow, and she invited me to go. And at the time, this was supposed to be like last summer. It was supposed to happen. I believe it was 20.
The only Russian I know is drinking Russian. I don't know conversational Russian.
Dude, I was like, I'm in a heartbeat. I would go to this fucking thing. Like, I don't care if they don't let me back to America.
only if you wear your fucking ushanka.
What is that?
Your fucking
Oh, that hat I
You
have?
still have it?
Oh, I do. Yes. Dude, I have one of those classic Russian.
No. Repeat after me. Da 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 da.
Da. I even bought the Christian, your buddy, who had one as well.
The Soviet pin.
Yeah, I have the Soviet
Fucking
pin.
USSR pin.
So fucking
Yeah, I
great.
wouldn't wear the USSR pin.
No, not now.
That's
But
not gonna.
but
That's
it's
not gonna fly.
I love that pin, man.
That shit ain't gonna fly.
People, let me tell you how much people hate that kind of stuff. So I have that. You remember that shirt I have? That's
Oh,
the
I would
Russian flag?
say
It's
I
the
would
red
say
flag
you
with
should
the-
be fine here. I wouldn't wear it there.
No, I've gotten hate here.
Oh.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. So I have this red shirt that has the Russian, the old USSR flag, essentially the hammer and sickle, basically with the star, yellow. And I was wearing it. I just wear it because I like to annoy people sometimes.
No. What do you mean sometimes?
Most of the time.
Fuck. What the fuck?
Oh my god! So I was walking down the street one day, and like I kind of forgot I had it on, and I'm walking to my downtown towards my apartment, and this woman she stops dead in her tracks and stares at me. She's like, "You've got to be fucking kidding me!" And she's like staring right at my shirt. I'm like, I forgot. I just kept going. I didn't even. It took me a second to figure out what she was talking about, and I'm like, oh. People do not love old school USSR stuff.
And the funniest thing for me is I walk around the same goddamn neighborhoods with pentagrams on my shirt.
And nobody
shit,
reacts,
and
right?
nobody fucking says anything to me.
They probably think it's
I guess they just think Satanists are more dangerous than Russians.
or less dangerous. Well, to be fair.
The only compliment, well, granted, I also just worked punk rock bowling, but like everyone was just like, fucking cool shirt, man. It was the old, like, wash your hands, Hail Satan pentagram shirt.
Where do they get a hold of the new one?
Oh,
Is that coming out sometime soon?
Yeah, by the time this fucking episode comes out in 6 months.
Do we pay for that shirt design?
Yeah, it's all done.
All right, good.
Cost us a whopping like $35 with tip.
Make it happen.
I'm making it
Put
happen.
it on the store, goddammit.
Happen. Goddamn. Here I am. Running a company while goddamn Fusco's gallivanting about New York, tonguing Andrew Douglas's butthole.
Well, so you gotta fucking what's the saying? You gotta shit where you eat. Oh wait, no, that's not it.
You gotta eat where they shit.
You gotta tongue the butthole of your boss or whatever.
Hey, did you guys do a clinic while you were up there?
We did the Dojo tuning clinic.
Oh shit! Are we gonna talk about bagpipes in the last 5 minutes of the episode?
I suppose we should.
We could do like 20.
So, I did a tuning clinic. It was good. We
Fucking great story, bro.
We tuned people.
God damn. Here's why when I had a large cast of friends and family to choose from, when it came to the co-host of the Chan Ram podcast, I thought, Andy Fusco, because he definitely knows how to stretch a concept. We had a tuning clinic and we fucking tuned people.
Listen, my specialty is stretching vagina, not content. All right, come on, just roll with me on this one. No, so we did a tuning clinic, and
you sent me a couple texts.
Yeah. What did they say? Was there something funny in there?
No, but we were texting me just like, yeah, like I've been showing people how to hemp their drones for 2 days or some shit.
Well, there's that, yeah. So the first thing, as any good piper knows, is when you can't tune if your pipes are a goddamn mess, because
there's a reason.
Because maintenance, people.
There's a reason that the 4-step process starts with a first step.
Yeah, first step is critical. The lower you are on the totem pole, the more important that step becomes. Because
as we saw at a practice recently,
as you work your way up, that shakiness in the base like accentuates as you go up. It's like much like the World Trade Towers on 9/11.
Oh, easy, bud.
It's just,
too soon.
Just follow me on it. It's been 20 fucking years. We can't talk about this yet.
Too soon.
Sorry. Let's use a different analogy. The Leaning Tower of Pisa. I don't know. Or any tower.
It's just like the Hindenburg.
It's like Hindenburg's old enough, yeah. But anyway, as you go up the tower, like the shakiness as you go up an incredibly tall building becomes much worse than when you're lower, right? So obviously, your base has to be strong or it's going to go to hell. So this is essentially what we did. Now, I will give a lot of credit to the students of the tuning clinic because they were way more prepared than years past where we're like,
is that because we've been shit talking them on the radio for 4 years?
I don't know. I wouldn't take credit for us, but I would say like students are starting to, they're involved with the dojo sooner, so they're aware of what to do. But anyway, we weren't like replacing bags with holes in it. Like maybe we had one of those, but in years past, it's like, oh crap!
It wasn't even.
How do we fix this?
It wasn't even a tuning workshop. It was a fucking like bagpipe rebuild.
Correct. Yes. So we got through that part actually remarkably quickly, which is really important part. People is get that shit down, and then, and we got way further than we usually do, which was really great. People were really picking it up faster.
If you're prepared for the basic shit, right? If you don't have to spend 6 hours on maintenance, you can get into some of the heavy shit.
Yeah. Absolutely, and we did. You
can get into like calibration and tone and shit like that.
We got into a lot about calibration. We got more into like,
but you can't do that if you spend the first fucking 4 hours being like, why is it that when I blow your bag, all the drones shoot out like rockets? Like,
right.
Like,
There's all of that. Like, go. Yeah, exactly. So we got way further than we usually do. We actually got to channel tuning, which is actually quite good. We usually just start to touch on it before we run out of time, and this time we got all the way through it. We broke it up into various levels where certain groups were able to actually tune their channers, which to start to work on individual notes. So very often it ends at drone tuning, which is critically important. it just
But-
seemed like it got further and it went.
Yeah,
it was really
no,
it was quite
because you've told me about some of these events before where it's like, fuck, dude, like we spent the first entire day just like hemping people's shit,
I'd say 2 years ago. Whatever.
and it's like, fuck, man, like, you know, it always comes down. I mean, we've talked about this before on the show. Like, what does it come down to when you're spending money to attend a workshop? Because if you're gonna sit in the back and dick around and barely look at the music, like let's say it's a tune workshop, like you're not getting your money's worth. If you're gonna show up with your fucking pipes in shambles to a drone clinic, like that's wasting your fucking time and money.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on, man, just fucking meet people halfway. Granted, the chanter tuning stuff, I have, especially like after doing the 9/11 gig, which I guess we should probably get into at some point.
yeah. Oh yeah, we should.
Like that kind of stuff, I could see how some of it is just repetition in order to master a skill. You know, it's one of those things where like people are like, is that sharp or flat? I think it's flat. I'm like, no. Like, it's training your ears, which is a thing that's often talked about on the dojo. But even stuff that we do in our band, where it's like, you know, if you're not sure, split the fucking difference. Like, go one way. Is it better or worse?
Correct.
You can play better or worse for 3 seconds.
It takes all of 3 seconds to determine that. So let's say this: it does not matter at all if you know what sharp or flat means. All you need to know is it better or worse? Makes no difference. Sharp and flat is just terms that somebody somewhere came up with.
Sharp and flat
to
is
describe
just for us
one or
to
the-
talk to each other about where tape goes
Right. Correct.
and where drones
So
move.
if I say sharp, the note is sharp, you're going to move the tape which way?
Down.
Right. So eventually you're going to learn that just in time but you don't need to know that.
And on the bright side, when it comes to your drones, it's the same thing. It's down or up.
Correct. You don't need to know that. If you do the tuning trick, the blow trick, if you will, or whatever, you blow a little bit flatter and it gets better. You just move that direction,
Yeah, you
right?
figured it
It's
out.
relatively simple. So, but the thing is, people get hung up on the music theory part of it. Like, I need to know if it's sharp or flat. Like, no, you don't.
Well, and
Very
people-
often, I don't know. But I do the process. I'm like, hey, I guessed sharp. Oh, I guessed wrong. Nobody cares. I guessed wrong. Like, I'll go the other
The other
direction.
thing that people get hung up on is the fucking number, right? And it's like,
Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah.
and it's like, well, I'm only at 476.5, and it's like, yeah, okay. Like, are you blowing tone? Are you blowing like a little bitch? Are you overblowing? Like, how are you getting to that 475? Okay, cool. Like, if you're comfortable and you're blowing at the sweet spot of your chanter, and it's hitting 475, and your drones are in tune and all your notes are in tune, cool, man. Like, fucking run it.
Right.
If it's like, well, I gotta, I'm only at 475, so I gotta like, and like fucking blow the shit out of it, get to 478. It's like, no, are you fucking insane? What are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah. That's other major mistake that less experienced players make.
My band tunes at this all the time. It's like, no
they
band tunes at this all the time.
No, they don't.
Ever. You want to know what pitch you're tuning to that day? Whatever pitch the pipe majors pipes
end
sound
up at.
good at.
Correct.
Like, that's it.
Yep.
You're moving to there.
Yep. And then you pick that number once it's settled, and then you tune everybody to that.
And it's never going to be far from what you're already at, especially if you're doing the
Well,
proper steps of like,
If you're
not
well maintained, playing reasonably often.
not blowing the shit out of your fucking instrument before an event or a practice, like that little stuff, right? Like,
Yep.
if you want to blow the fuck out of your solo chanter, send it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's talk about some rakes of mallow.
Did you get
I'm
into
assuming-
this with Ozzy? I haven't heard the.
I haven't gotten anything from Ozzy.
No, I mean you had her on the show, but you guys talked briefly about your 9/11 gigs.
I'm only halfway through that edit. So,
right, but it's out on fucking YouTube or whatever.
well, it's on Patreon. Yeah.
All right. So
Did I get into this? Did you watch it? No?
I didn't.
Okay.
I watched like 10 seconds of it.
So we got two guys that don't know what happened on the show.
You were drunk?
No, I have other. I just don't spend a lot of RAM space in my brain remembering my once a week podcast stuff.
All right, that's fair. So you did a thing.
We did some things.
And I have video proof of this.
Oh man,
And audio.
I'm so stoked on this. So we did talk about doing the gig with the firefighters.
Yep.
I did mention that there was video evidence of not only Cajun Grace, but Rakes of Mallow. Which one do you have handy?
I don't know.
This is
Until I
Josh
play it.
McEachern.
I've
Josh
got a
McEachern
couple.
of the Chanarant podcast on video.
I won't know until I hit play.
Communing with a foreign species through the art of music with Cajun Grace.
Let's see. I've got a few different things here, and I don't know which one is which because I don't.
You know what? I've got nothing but nice things to say. Actually, that's not true. I have some mean things to say too.
The only reason I'm bringing this up is not because I want to shit on anybody in particular, other than the fact that
Well, you can shit on me.
You participated.
Oh
Exactly.
yeah,
That's my point.
You can absolutely shit on me for this one.
So Josh did participate in the following things you're about to hear, which is
I was the one that was in tune.
all right. So I'm gonna be prepared to ride the board in case this goes super loud. I don't know what's gonna happen here.
Oh yeah, it's a
okay.
Cajun.
I see Rick. I see Tim and Mia. I don't see you yet, but somebody's filming around the bar.
It's probably, I'm assuming, Mia's mother.
There's Bill, not Caswell. the other
Fireman Bill.
No, the other Bill.
Oh, Drummer Bill.
Why am I drawing blank his name? Drummer Bill, yeah. Here it comes, people. Here it comes. This is Josh and the Las Vegas Pipe Band. The only time you'll ever hear them participating in this. I don't see you though. I see Rick, but I can't.
Oh, I'm definitely there. I'm probably behind because Rick was to my left. Are we in the bar?
In the bar.
Yeah, so Rick was to my left.
So that's as much as that video, but so there is unfortunately video proof that the Las Vegas Pipe Band has participated in Cajun Grace.
What was the conversation we had before you left town
You'll have to
on the podcast?
Give me a clue. I don't remember.
The conversation we had on the podcast of extending the olive branch.
Oh yeah.
This was like my fucking God. Who was the woman that embedded herself with the apes to understand them better?
I remember she was played by Sigourney
Jane
Weaver.
Goodall.
That's her, Jane Goodall. Yeah.
This is my Jane Goodall moment. No. In all seriousness. So, the rest of the backstory, which may or may not have already been explained on the previous episode that has not been released yet, was we were contacted. Well, you were contacted by Las Vegas Fire, right?
Yes. So this is, if anybody's ever seen the movie 13 Days, it was very much like a back channel communique from Russia to the U.S. So
you had to go to the post box marked with a chalk.
Correct. So Tony happened to mention to Fireman Bill, that maybe they would be open-minded to the idea of us joining them again. But he was floating the idea to us through a back channel, so it was not official.
And we
to
had
see
just,
what I would say.
We had just talked about like, hey, like we would be willing to like reach out and work with all these other groups and like just generally raise all ships and that kind of stuff.
Right.
We talked about that on the show.
Yeah. Well, I didn't agree, but yes, we did.
You were the
talk
one
about
that said you wanted to hold a fucking summit of like.
Yeah, but I still hate those fuckers.
Yeah, but Emerald Society wasn't invited. This was only Fire.
Oh, okay. I thought we were including those fuckers.
No.
Okay.
No, that's an Iran deal, not a.
That's an Iran Contra kind of thing. All right. So anyway, go ahead.
But so you had talked about this on the show. Then you got contacted. You were like, "Hey, I'm gonna be out of town."
Well, no. So Bill contacted me and said, "Hey, Tony." So remember when all the nonsense happened when all the Emerald Society got upset with the fireman, whatever the fuck.
The
happened.
firefighters got
we
upset
talked about
with
this
the
like
cops
2 months ago.
Yeah,
because of that funeral that was local. We
Yep.
talked about that. So then the fire guys decided to reach out to us, or at least float the idea like, "Hey, would you guys help us with the 9/11 thing? Because we're not inviting Emerald Society. Fuck them." So we're like, okay, I'll be a thorn in their side. Yes. So Fireman Bill contacted me and said, Tony floated this idea by him. I'm like, well, if he's serious, I would support it. And I'm like, I'm going to be out of town, but I will try to get our people to do it.
Well, and we'll drum up some players and we'll approach it, with skill and reverence.
Correct.
The same
For
shit
which
we
it
talk
deserves.
about all the time on the goddamn show, especially for that occasion.
It's 20th anniversary 9/11. That was the idea. So
then you talk to me
yes,
because you were going to be out of town.
right. It's like I don't remember what I said, but basically, are you in?
You're like, can you do this gig? I'm going to be out of town. You got to pipe major it. You got to fucking get who we can get. I was very enthusiastic about the idea because we've talked before about like working more with some of the service bands in the area. Apparently more so this one than the other one.
Right.
And so I rustled up a couple hitters. I mean, realistically, aside from we brought hitters to that thing. We had 4 pipes, 2 drums.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That were all clutch as shit.
Correct.
And we supported our local fire department on the 20th anniversary of 9/11.
Right.
And they wanted to play fucking Cajun Grace.
Not only Cajun Grace, but also this beauty.
Oh, is this the fucking Rakes?
I don't know. I don't know what I'm about to play. We're gonna find out. Oh wait, sorry. Longer version of the same thing. Let's go to this one. Come on, open.
For those of you watching the stream, this is the face of a soul dying. Oh yeah, USA.
This is what happens. Oh,
It's the same
it's the
thing.
same fucking
Yeah,
thing.
it's
Over
probably-
how
probably
many times
the-
did you record this? Okay, hold on.
5 times we probably played it.
Did they really? This is all the same bar. Like I'm just pulling up videos of the same fucking bar.
Yeah. It was. I don't know what you're talking about now. Okay, stop clicking on random links.
No, I'm just pulling up. All right, no. I thought she had Rakes and Mallow. I'm desperately looking for the Rakes and Mallow bit.
That's okay. There's definitely Rakes and Mallow bit somewhere.
I will find it. But so there's Cajun Grace, Rakes and Mallow, and
Dude, here's what I will say.
there was something else you did too, right? Oh, We Will
big-
Rock You or something.
No, yeah, oh yeah. We Will Rock You. That we did Minstrel Boy and Scott and the Brave in between the breaks on that one.
Does anybody have video of that? I need to see that.
I could probably rustle some up. It'll be posted to some socials.
It's got to be somewhere.
Here's what I will say: the boys definitely have a shtick. I was very appreciative to be there, to be invited. This is not me being political, as I'm about to talk shit. I was very appreciative to be there for the occasion, like supporting that group because I see that group as what they could be.
I think you saw them as what they could be, to be quite honest.
No. But they also, I mean,
I saw the people that were there. You saw.
here's what I'll say.
That's about as good as it could get.
We showed up. We were fucking consummate professionals across the board. We showed up. We looked sharp. We played sharp the entire fucking time. Easy peasy, right? Like for our band, for the Las Vegas Pipe Band, I'm sorry, the band that shall not be named, this was a walk in the fucking park.
Right.
And for us, it was a walk in the park, and I think we significantly helped bolster the ranks of a band that is
Can you imagine-
trying
all
to
right.
find their own. I think they're just trying
Trying to find their own way.
I think they're trying to figure themselves out, man.
They need a lot of fucking soul searching though. I tell you what.
They need like peyote in New Mexico level soul searching.
There's
a lot
Maybe
of-
next episode we'll go into this because there's
Dude.
so much to talk about.
There's a lot of people in that band that I think really want to do it.
This is what drives me nuts. It doesn't drive me nuts. This is what makes me sad. Let's put it that way.
We can't shit on service bands.
No, I'm not.
episodes in a
I'm not
row.
going to start shit on them. This is what I'm saying. Like, these are genuinely good guys who just don't want it. And,
But I don't
that's
think,
sad to me.
I don't think they know what it is, right? Like, I think that their immediate reaction to any kind of exterior force was like, well, fuck you, I will withdraw.
But these are fucking firemen who charge. That's what they do.
But it's one of those
Or
things. where it's
police, theoretically.
It's like, man, like, you got to keep in mind, people are people.
Well, yeah, I suppose. Like, there's some good dudes in that. I mean,
I mean, we had notes on
Good-hearted people, anyway. They just have, I don't know, man.
We had
Some people just
notes
don't
on the
have it.
fact that like we cut off too sharp.
Oh, right. I remember that. Explain that one. That was funny to me.
And I was like, oh, well, you know, like
And
we
the-
typically hold the note a bit and then, you know, then cut off. And I was like, yeah, all at different times, man. Like,
Yeah, like none of you do it the same. Like, have you planned this? No.
like, bro. Yeah, it's like you brought us in to fucking kick ass and play bagpipes. Like, here we are.
So let's explain that. We, as most pipe bands do,
We were given the opportunity to support our local fire department on the 20th anniversary of 9/11. That's the way I looked at it.
absolutely.
We were getting the opportunity to support them. I already
the
I
olive
already
branch
had
was
people.
extended.
I already had people from that band reach out, like, "Hey, where can I get your guys' music? Like, when do you guys practice?" And I was like, "That's cool, man."
They'll
but
never follow up, but that's okay.
I don't think they're gonna follow up, in my opinion. But because
I've gotten that 1,000 times.
dude, what we ask for is work,
Listen,
right? Like,
Right. You got to show up and you got to be there. So, but the
and not
the
only do you have
olive
to be
branch-
there, not only do you have to be there, you have to not fuck around at practice.
Correct. There's a process, right? Obviously, but we extended the olive branch. I wouldn't say their reasoning for having us was necessarily pure. So let's not kid ourselves about that.
No, they were short on numbers.
Well, not only that, but they were trying to stick it to the Emerald Society because the Emerald Society hates us. So they're like, oh well, let's bring their enemies in to a certain extent.
But I also
because they were
like-
so pissed about what happened a month ago. Right.
But also,
now, I don't
yeah.
care though. Either way, I'm happy to indulge in that vengeance because I am a vengeful person.
True. And in my mind, the alternate reality version of this, where we weren't invited to participate and did, or were invited and rebuked it, just ended up in like a really. It just ended up in a fucking pipe band fail of the week.
Correct.
If we weren't there.
And it's not all that far, to be honest, otherwise. But
Hey, fuck you, man. We crushed the parade.
I've got video proof otherwise. However, that's not the point. I don't want to hover on that.
Here's what I can say in order to put Fusco in a fucking box on only shitting on the firefighters. Blue Kilts played.
No, we did. Absolutely, we did.
And everyone was in tune. Everyone was professional. Everyone maintained composure. A couple people didn't know the stupid like pipe down thing, but
Oh, did they do that?
yeah, that you should never have to do. But
We've never
that's
done
dumb.
that. Yeah. But the short cutoff thing, we train that like hard, and it's like one of those things. Like, all right, if the last tune ends on a burl, you don't fucking play the burl.
Nope.
You just cut off that note. That's when you end. You don't hold the last note over to like a half note and then blow like a fucking
Yeah,
cunt,
just blow like an asshole till the end.
and then sort of cut off.
The other one that and still, you know, more on recordings as I'm editing episodes and like stuff like the on drones, like that kind of shit. It's like, bro, like just fucking get your shit together. But nobody was like pretending that they practice.
Right.
Like nobody was like, oh well, you know, this is how we do. It's like everyone's like, man, I haven't even picked these fucking things up in like 2 weeks.
Oh, they were like full on admitting
Yeah.
it. Oh my god.
And I'm just like,
They didn't even
bro.
pretend to hide it.
And honestly, and I may be proven wrong. Some of the guys listen to the show apparently, so when you
Hey.
catch this episode, y'all got my number, so you can text me.
you can shit on me directly at my phone number.
But a lot of them were just like, yeah, like fuck, man, like you guys sound fucking solid, and we want to, you know, like, can you send us your music? Can you know, blah blah? It's like, dude, fucking, we've done this.
Tell them to go to
before.
pipersdojo.com/sucklaz.
I said chanarant.com/sucklaz.
Whatever the fuck it is. That too.
I was like, get in the dojo, get through.
Having our music in your hand is not going to make you
get-
inherently better at this.
Get past the first phase of bagpipe freedom, and then
Guess what our music looks like?
I will talk to you.
Our music looks like your music. Guess what? It's different.
That's just one of those
The
things. man,
brain,
where it's
the
like,
mentality.
Yeah, it's definitely a mentality of like, oh, it. You know, there are a couple people who I think really have a lot of talent in that group. Not skill, but talent for sure.
Oh yeah, no, skill is developed over time.
And
This is
then
definitely not
and
that.
then there's a lot of people where it's like, oh, this is like a sideshow to my main job.
Well, yeah. See, guess what? It's my main job, and you're turning it into a sideshow. So go fuck yourselves.
Yeah.
Although I don't mean that like really mean, but you know, like I'm gonna go fight fires and fucking like I'm not gonna do that. Like I don't know.
Wait, are you saying you're too smart to deal with pooping homeless people? Because
Apparently.
I'm not.
Oh man. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I would say overall, I think as an olive branch experience, it was good. I think there's opportunity, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Like in my mind, I see opportunity in not only potentially bolstering the ranks of our band that shall not be named,
Well, we got one guy from it.
but also genuinely like raising the musicality of that band. And then when I go to events, I can be like, hey, fucking A, here's an example of what it should sound like. And none of the problems they face are difficult.
No, not at all.
Like nothing's like you need 10 more years on the instrument.
No, not at all. Like
Most of it's shit that if I went to one maintenance clinic and one tuning clinic, it'd be over.
Well,
But
yeah,
I
they would
refuse-
have the knowledge, but you still got to execute.
But I
the
also
knowledge.
refuse to accept anyone into said maintenance clinic or tuning clinic until they've fucking done like basic rhythm.
Well, there's that.
All right. Like I would be willing to be like, okay, if you've passed phase 1 of the fucking
Bagpipe
jack off your bagpipe thing, where you at least know how to clap out a fucking tune. Now I'll talk to you about like maintaining and like tuning your bagpipe. I'd be willing to do it then.
Well, that doesn't come to phase 3.
Yeah, I know, man, but
But I get I know what you're saying.
because the only
Like,
thing
you're
that I've
putting
learned,
the cart before the horse. Like,
but yeah, but I would say that we've put the cart before the horse for fucking 15 years, where we've been like working so much on, you know, tone and tuning and all this stuff, and then we found out now that nobody knows fucking how to clap the notes. Like,
yeah, they
It's
don't
a
have
stupid-
a basic understanding of rhythm.
it's you know, it's one
It's
of the
so
what's
simple
the-
that you like it blows right over your head. They're like shocked that they don't know it.
What's the phrase that I use all the time when I'm like, oh well, I really feel like a dumbass that I didn't think of this sooner. Like,
I don't know. I don't remember. But yes, that was wildly eye-opening 2 months ago when we started this. It's like, oh, you really have no
I feel like we're starting over. I feel
no
like we're
understanding of what the music theory of this is.
I feel like the past 15 years are a wash, and we're literally starting over at year 1.
which is why we should probably back out of everything we do, except that we got to take advantage of drummers while they're there.
Our drummers are fucking killing.
I know.
They don't think they are because I continuously neg them.
Well, that's fair.
Yeah, I have a strategy. I'm gonna keep telling them their shit because they're working really hard. So that's my strategy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a hot girl at the bar. Like,
I get the reference. I do it all the time.
Sup, you ugly bitch, and then you just walk away and like hope that they practice their drums. Because the drums sound fucking amazing.
No, those two guys are fucking great, man. But yeah,
Granted, I don't think either of them have found the 5.
I don't think so.
Hashtag chanarant.com/store.
Should we?
No, that's a store link. Fuck you, Hoineke. You haven't paid for a goddamn.
That's like we
You
gotta
haven't
get
paid for an
Hornicky on the ad list or whatever.
bitch.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Fusco, we gotta wrap this fucker up.
Yeah, let's get out of here. Let's get out of here.
I want you to contemplate your final thoughts.
All right, I'm thinking about it right now.
And it should be related to the whole olive branch thing. We just wrapped up way too many episodes shitting on service bands. And not only that, we just had an experience where we extended the olive branch and everyone had a great time.
Things went positively.
Things went positively. Like the people in blue kilts performed supremely. Everyone else was incredibly grateful to have them there.
Well, that's true.
And we made, I would like to think we made some friends. I hope so. I really hope that like it wasn't a us or them type thing, and like everyone appreciated the fact, because it was an important moment. It was a moment of reverence, and we talk about that all the time. Of like, hey, let's get good music out for things that are important. And I think in this case, maybe not at Hogs and Heifers, but for the actual fucking event.
Right. The actual parade down
The
Fremont.
actual event and the reading of the names and all that stuff, I think that it was a good display of bagpiping. I really do.
It was a positive, I wouldn't say good, but it was positive experience.
You're such a fucking cunt. You weren't even there.
Dude, I've seen the fucking videos. It's rough.
Did you see the Fremont stuff?
I did.
Oh.
It's rough at best.
Yeah, I only had 4 of us, man.
I'm not saying it's your fault.
Give me
I'm just
fucking
saying
6
there's
more.
like, okay, so there's a shot of the band walking by this camera, right? And from the
It's
front
all
row,
wrong notes.
it's like wrong note. I'm like, what are they?
I
They're
know.
playing Green Hills. What are they playing?
I know precisely.
Oh, I know who it was.
I know
All right, no.
precisely whom you are addressing.
Oh, I know exactly. I'm like, what are they doing? All right, but that wasn't the point of this thing, and I'm not overly critical of that. The fact that that a détente was reached, if you will, where we're sort of like friendly with this organization, that was the important part, and that's why I supported it. It was like, I don't want to be enemies with everybody. Everybody thinks I do, but I don't. Like, I would be happy to work with Emerald Society, but you got to meet me halfway. You can't play like you did and want me to be next to you, because guess what? My livelihood depends on that. Like, all right, I'm going to be a volunteer policeman and like fucking not know how to shoot a gun kind of halfway. Maybe I kind of do it once in a while, or maybe I know how to clear a building, or maybe I don't. Like,
It's okay.
Like,
most of the people in
it's not
Emerald
life or
Society aren't cops.
well, that's true. There's like 80% civilians.
Mostly civilian.
But it's like, guys, like, it's my livelihood too. Like, you're standing next to me and you know how much business I get now because I put good shit out there on the internet? Like, I don't put shit out there.
Hashtag Ozzy Osbourne. Good job on the site.
Well, there's that too. But like, that matters to people, man. Just like your job matters to people. Like, my job matters to people. And the fact that you value that makes me fucking crazy. Like, nothing matters, people. All of this is an illusion. It doesn't fucking matter. So my thing is just
Wait, are
as
we living
important
in the
as your
Matrix?
thing. Like, nothing matters. So your thing is as important. You cooking food, and this guy writing tickets to fucking speeders, to my playing music is all equally valuable. Guess what? It's equally invaluable as well. So the fact that you devalue what I do and it pisses me off. So go fuck yourselves. Like, all right,
We're on Fox Service Bands Part 4.
No, it's just, it pisses me off when they undervalue.
I'd like to change your speed.
what we do.
I want to downshift you because we've already hit.
We don't have to go down this road.
We've already hit why you get pissed off.
Oh, don't get me started.
I want to change your speed,
All right, do it.
not just for my future gainful employment, but also. Wait, hold on, 1 sec.
Good luck with that.
Future gainful employment. No, but actually, realistically, musically, I would be willing to fucking teach, and you know how much I hate teaching, by the way.
Yeah, but are you really? You say this all the time, and then
nobody takes me up on it. What am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to attack students and say, "Here, waste my time."
Of course not.
Yeah, fuck you. If you don't come to me, then fuck you. Nobody has ever asked me, "Hey, can you get together and jam this weekend?" And I said no.
Except for this weekend coming up, because you're busy.
Am I busy this weekend?
I don't remember. I remember you saying this at practice. Like, I can't do this Saturday, but every other Saturday. I don't remember.
Oh yeah, because I was working the punk rock yesterday.
That's right. It was this past.
Dude,
weekend.
I tell everybody all the time, I'm like, you have Bandap, you have my
fucking
phone number. Most of you have been to my fucking house. Like, you can hit me up. You know how
But
many people
this
take
is
me
the
up on
thing.
that shit?
Yeah, but here's the thing, man. People don't do that. If there's anything you should have learned by now, and this is what drives me nuts about being a pipe major and or the president and or whatever, is that I would love people to take initiative. Hey, I worked on this thing. What do you think? Never has that ever happened. Hey, I've got this extra tune. I'd like to play at the concert. How about, like...
Yeah, but that's
what?
also... But that shit's,
okay.
But that shit's not my job.
That never, ever happens.
Right.
But my point is...
But...
You're expecting them to take the initiative, and that's
No.
never going to happen.
I'm not expecting anyone to take the initiative.
You're asking them.
I still book my weekends. What I'm expecting them to do fucking nothing. I'm expecting them not to fuck to save their species, because nobody ever does.
Some people do. It's just not here.
Yeah, nobody's taking me up on it, man. Like
You're saying like these firefighters.
but it's
come on.
not up to me to be like, hey buddy, you coming over today? Hey buddy, you coming over tomorrow? Hey buddy, you coming over on Wednesday? That's not my fucking job, bro. Like if you
Yeah.
want to
I
fucking
agree.
come over and jam,
Let's
you come over and jam.
I'm curious. Cobra's
when
in
we
the
do
chat.
stuff, right? Like when
Cobra,
real
but
quick.
good
Before-
marketing is being on top of that shit. Let's look at it from a
I'm not
marketing
marketing.
perspective.
I'm not getting fucking paid.
But aren't you in the success of the band in a way?
No.
Like you're
No,
getting
because-
some positive result.
No,
out
because
of
the
it.
success of the band doesn't fucking keep my lights on. I don't give a shit.
But then why offer it, right?
Because I want to not be ears
So it does
hurty.
have some value.
I want to
to
not
you.
be ears hurty on Thursday.
So it has some value to you.
yes,
That's my
but not monetary value.
Sure, but monetary value is not everything, right? That's what I keep being told because like
Here's-
you got to do it
here's-
for the good of the community, the good
No,
of the
fuck that
band,
shit,
and like
man.
let's.
That's what I do. The big thing for me is like, yeah, like you got to meet. I'm not going to meet you 75% of the way, and you're the same fucking way as me.
I am exactly the same way.
You're
I
trying to
know
be the
it's-
devil's advocate right now, but it's the same fucking thing, right?
I
Where
know.
It's like, fuck, dude. If I had a bunch of the learners text me and be like, hey, we want to do coffee and bagpipes, like we used to do back on my fucking table back in the day. It's like, I want to do coffee and bagpipes when you're free. I'd be like, okay, cool. Either Saturday morning, Sunday morning, usually. Like, no worries. And I used to fucking get donuts and shit, bro. It's one of those things like, yeah, but if you're not going to ask me for it, I'm not going to just sit there all by myself with my practice chanter texting people.
I get it, and this is what I wish people would do: is like, hey, I've got an idea. Here's my idea. Like, it may not happen, but also, guess what? It might happen. Like, here's my idea for the concert. Here's my idea. Hey, maybe we should learn this tune.
I had
the
to-
drummers, like the fact that we're doing
I had to
singing through chanter
fucking-
was the drummer's idea. He's
I had
like,
to fucking
hey, I like that tune.
individually text every person that showed up to the goddamn 9/11 thing because nobody responded to the fucking app. And I was like, every single person that didn't fucking respond, I was like, you fucking coming? You fucking coming? You fucking coming?
Well, you mean the people that didn't say anything? Because there were some that said
The
yes.
ones that didn't say anything. If you say yes or you say no, then
Like,
that's good.
dude,
if you're not responds,
I'm gonna lose my mind right now because the people that fucking say nothing drive me fucking crazy. Like, say fucking no, so I know you've read it, you cocksuckers.
just say no because I know you're
It's
not coming anyway.
okay, but the fact that you say nothing is so obnoxious to me.
Just say no, you non-committal pieces of shit.
It drives me bananas. Like, so I know your frustration there. Like, oh, okay, so Fireman Bill said yes, Daniela said yes, or whoever. I don't remember the order of how it all happened.
It was all the people that I can typically rely on.
But literally, like, I messaged Mia Bella's mother. It's like,
Fucking
hey,
Rick.
can Mia Bella do this gig? Like, this would be good for her. She's like, oh,
I had
didn't know
no
she was-
idea
I
Mia
didn't know
Bella
she
was
was supposed to be there. Like, I put it on the app. What does it take for you guys to like be part of this thing?
I had
like,
no.
what does
I
it
had
take?
no
for me?
idea Mia Bella was coming.
Well, she said yes on the fucking app.
And then she showed up, and I was like, "Fuck! I hope Tim's here."
Oh no, I knew all of that was happening because it said it on the fucking app. Because Tim responds, but nobody else did.
Fucking Rick drove down from fucking
St. George.
St. George.
It's a 2-hour drive. Well, I don't know, 2 hours.
Hour and a half. If you
I'll give
drive
him credit
fast.
to play this goddamn gig. Listen, the amount of appreciation I have for Rick, who is an average player at best, but a fucking,
getting better.
but a fucking champion as far as
fucking getting better.
being a
every
good
day.
band member. Like, he communicates.
That's actually
He makes what he can make.
That's actually an interesting point that we can only do like for 5 seconds because
We're
already
so
way
at
over.
the end. Why can't everybody be like Rick?
But I do kind of want to eventually address the idea of like being a good band member versus being a good player, because it should be like a meter, right? Mm-hmm. Like there are some people that are great players that are shitty members. Correct. There are some people that are great members that are shitty players. And then you get people like fucking Rick, who's 75 and 75, baby. Like he's
on the spectrum.
He's pretty good. He's pretty good, and he's goddamn reliable.
He's okay, and he's reliable.
I mean,
and he communicates.
He's been doing better a lot just the last couple of weeks.
Maybe it's because he's Mormon. Maybe we need more Mormons in the band because they actually
less
communicate.
alcoholics.
Less alcoholics and more Mormons.
The only alcoholics in the band are me and you and Angel.
Angel doesn't drink anymore. He hasn't
Exactly,
drank in like
because
15
he's an
years.
alcoholic.
Well, that's true. I forgot about that. Oh, that's great. Yeah, no, we need more people like Rick.
I mean, yeah, dude, he fucking crushed, and it was so funny because we were doing the gig and they were doing call outs, and I was like, guys, if you have any questions, let me know. They had no questions. Like the firefighter pipe major was just like, all right, so we're gonna do I'm gonna do like 8 bars of, you know, We Will Rock You, and then we're gonna do Scotland Brave, and then I'm gonna do 8 more bars, and then we're gonna do Minstrel Boy Strike It when I'm doing the second time through the na 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 na. And he's like, you guys got that? And we were all just like, yeah, like that's not hard.
Guess what? We've never done this before in our lives, and it's not that difficult.
the only thing that nobody knew except for me was rakes, I think.
Yeah, but I mean,
then again,
the ins and outs.
Then again, the fucking firefighters didn't know it either.
No, none of them knew it. I've heard the video.
Yeah, so, they knew everything up until the goddamn.
I think a good thought to send this out on is a comment by somebody in the chat. I don't know who Rod Nevin is. That sounds.
God,
like
I hope he's a patron.
It sounds like
Discord
a fake name
member
to me. But he says
also
this.
Discord happy hour coming soon.
Yeah, this is actually he nails it about as perfectly as you can nail it. He says, I think the topic is coming back to the common theme that is people don't care as much as we wish they did. I would say I would augment this to say people don't care as much as they wish they did. I mean, they think they're committed, but they aren't.
Fuck, I didn't do a final thought, did I?
No, but I think that's a good way to.
Here's what I would say for my final thought. It's not just about people don't care as much as they wish they did. It's that something you can be good at something and not have it have to be your entire life, right? Like
right.
For me and you, it's different right now because we're working in the gig economy and we definitely care a lot about this and we want to make sure that it's good because we have ears. And that's important, right? Hearing things that aren't shit and making sure the general level of bagpipery isn't fucking garbage in the largest tourist destination in the entire world.
Right.
That would be nice. That would be amazing. That's not my life's mission. That has nothing to do with the things I do in my free time aside from, you know, gigs and practices. Like I focus on raising my dogs and being a good boyfriend and doing the Highland games and shit like that and applying to do work. People are capable of a lot of shit. So at the end of the day, it's not about like you don't have to have bagpipes be the center of your life to not be fucking mediocre.
That's correct.
The bagpipes could be way off center of your life.
It doesn't have to be number 1 or number 2 or number 3. But guess what? It can still be good.
But also you're capable of caring about more than one thing at a time.
I agree.
Because we're complicated.
As human beings?
Yeah, and we can all do multiple shit simultaneously, for fuck's sake. So you can
It's not a be-all, end-all.
Yeah.
It's not one or the other.
Like, guess what? Some of the best metal bands that I've ever seen in concert probably work at Subway. Like, you can do multiple things.
I'm sure they do.
I think the trick is it's less about disregard everything else in your life and focus on bagpipes, and it's more about make sure the things you're doing are worth doing and you're doing them well.
Right. So Kelly pops in the chat, and this makes me think of something. Are you what you do or who you are? So this makes me think like okay, let's take your job. Like you're a Uber driver, you're a fireman, it doesn't matter whatever the fuck. Is that how you define yourself? Like, is that what your primary focus is? Is your like that's what you're sleepwalking through?
What is your primary function?
Like what brings
do you
joy?
Serve butter?
Like what brings you joy? Like waitressing in your restaurant, or like being artistic, or adding to your community in some way, whatever that might be. Like I'm sure it's not. Like, okay, you're a fireman. Maybe you got into it. Maybe your starry-eyed dream was like, I'm going to help society and be blah, blah, blah.
Hey,
guess what?
Fuck you.
That's where you are right now. But guess what? Every fireman that's over 5 years in service is right now. Like, this is a fucking job. I show up and I have to cook and we have brotherhood and I'm doing my fucking job. Like, you went through the class and you were like, I'm tired of this fucking sticking people with needles kind of shit. Like it happens to everybody. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just the nature of humanity. We get very jaded very quickly.
For the record, I thoroughly enjoy sticking people.
We
with
get
needles.
over what we're doing very quickly. Like, hey man, I justify what I do to a certain extent by like, hey, I get some positive value out of it because people appreciate what I do. But like being an artist versus being a engineer or a fireman or a police or a goddamn, and I don't know, whatever the fuck, doesn't matter what it is. Like, is that how you define yourself? Like, or do you want to be special in some way? Like, be special by being a good musician, if that's what you decide to do. Like, this is your hobby. This is what you choose to spend your special time with. This is where you don't spend time with your kids because you're in the basement practicing pipes. Like, fucking go all out, man.